they shut the back engine off.
Yeah, you get a board around there. Something's gonna come out.
Because, as you may know, the train comes on time, and we want to be on time. We want to get to Normal, Illinois. This is the first time we're going to have an opportunity to travel 115 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour in Illinois. And what I think is very important about this day is 100 years ago this month, Union Station in Joliet, Illinois opened up. And a century later, we want to open up to the 21st century. This is an opportunity for all of us in Illinois to help our rail, our passenger rail, help people get to where they want to go in a safe, reliable, speedy way. And that's what high-speed rail is all about. We know all about other places in the world, in Asia and Europe, that have fast trains. We've got to do it here in America. We're grateful to our president, President Barack Obama, from the state of Illinois, who understood and had a vision that we need to make sure that high-speed rail is part of the American transportation system. And the president put that into the bill that was passed 3 years ago, and our state responded. In our job recovery bill, we inserted funding for matching federal funds for high-speed rail. We had to wait a long time in Illinois to have a job recovery bill. It took a decade. I was in office for about 10 weeks. We worked together in a bipartisan way to get a bill passed to invest in high-speed rail and rail transportation in our state of Illinois. We've got 4 major Amtrak routes. Each of them have grown dynamically in recent years. We have over 2 million passengers a year. The passenger ridership is up, and that's even without the high-speed rail. What we want to do today is show the people of Illinois, the people of America, what we can do right here in the Midwest at connecting people from one city to another with a fast train. And it took a lot of team efforts, and it really starts with our federal government and a man from Illinois, our own Secretary of Transportation. He knows transportation like the back of his hand, and he's with us here today. It's an honor to be on this trip with him, and that's Secretary Ray LaHood. Ray, take it from there.
Good morning, everybody. I guess we're supposed to be quick here, so I'm not going to do a lot of gibberish. I'm going to actually read my comments. Standing here in Illinois, I can't help but invoke the vision and perseverance of one of our nation's greatest heroes, Abraham Lincoln. As most of you know, our 16th president had a bold vision for American rail. When Lincoln first talked about building the Transcontinental Railroad, the critics and naysayers told him no. In a time of crisis and uncertainty, some believed that investing in our future was simply not a good idea. But Lincoln knew better. He knew that America's future was bright, but only if we choose to invest in it. He knew that in order to be the most powerful economy in the world, we would need a modern transportation system that would connect us from coast to coast. That's why 150 years ago, he signed the Pacific Railway Act of 1862, laying the groundwork for one of the greatest transportation projects in history. Today, our president, President Obama, has the same kind of vision for rail, but this one is designed for success in the 21st century. Across the country, we're investing in modern rail networks that will help our economy grow and have already helped our economy grow. Our plan calls for increasing the speed and frequency of service, improving reliability, and providing growing populations with alternatives to rush hour gridlock and overburdened airports. We've invested $2.5 billion to achieve that vision right here in the Midwest, the lion's share of it in Illinois. And I want to say a big word of thanks to our best partner in the Midwest, Governor Pat Quinn. Pat, you've been a great partner. We could not have done this without you. And I also want to thank my friend and former colleague that I served with in Congress, Dick Durbin. He pushed this, he helped us with this, and he's been a real innovator on this too. As today's demonstration shows, we're well on our way to achieving the President's vision. By 2050, the population of the Midwest is expected to grow by 30%. Local leaders know this, and that's why they're working with us to connect the region's 40 largest cities with a higher performing intercity passenger rail. In the coming weeks, passenger trains on the Chicago-St. Louis corridor will reach speeds of 110 miles an hour between Dwight and Pontiac. This is only the beginning. By 2015, 110 miles per hour service will be expanded throughout nearly 75% of the corridor. Over the long term, we hope to double the number of round trips and reduce the trip time to 3 hours, 49 minutes. But it's not just about faster trains. We are thrilled to see a new multimodal transportation facility, which many of you were here to break ground on in Joliet. Stations are coming to Springfield, Alton, Carlinville, Pontiac, and Dwight. Building and modernizing train stations has been a huge priority for DOT. Experience tells us these stations are magnets for economic development, and they create jobs for the people who will build these facilities. But let me say this, what we're celebrating here is the next generation of transportation for the next generation. That's President Obama's vision. That's what he's been about. And that's what this kind of new high-speed rail in Illinois is all about. Congratulations to everybody who has been a big, big part of this. We're grateful for your support. We have put Illinois on the map for the next generation of transportation, for the next generation.
Well, we wouldn't do it without Ray LaHood. He's been our constant partner and supporter, and you have to have somebody in the Congress, in the U.S. Senate, who is a strong voice for rail transportation, who understands what we can do with high speed. And that's exactly what Senator Dick Durbin has been. From day one, he's been a fighter for high-speed rail. Come on forward, Senator.
Thank you, Governor Pat Quinn. Folks, I got railroads in my blood. Born and raised in East St. Louis, Illinois, my mother, my father, my two brothers, and I all worked for the New York Central Railroad. I grew up with railroads. I believe in railroads. When I was elected to the United States House of Representatives and to the Senate, I never gave up on the dream that America could modernize its passenger rail transportation system and rival the countries all around the world that were still committed. But it was only a dream until President Barack Obama was elected, and he made a personal commitment to the high-speed rail projects that we are honoring today. That was a turning point. Fortunately for us, we had a Secretary of Transportation in Ray LaHood who knew how to find Illinois and who got plenty of phone calls when it came time to allocate the money. As governors all around the country decided in their Tea Party loyalty oaths to give up on passenger rail, we called Ray LaHood and said, we'll take the money in Illinois. And we did. Now those governors can stand by as a 110-mile train goes by and wave at it if they'd like. They can be our guests. And I think the lesson here is really basic. For those who don't believe that President Obama's stimulus package created jobs, economic development, and an infrastructure for the 21st century, get on the train. For those who think that rail service is yesterday and not tomorrow, get on this train. And for those who don't believe that we can come together as a nation and build an infrastructure to service for years to come, get on this train. For all others, step back. It's coming at you fast at 110 miles an hour. Wave as we go by. Thanks a lot.
Excellent. We Senator Durbin to hold back here and tell us how he feels. It's very important that we get from Chicago to St. Louis as fast as possible because we want Cub fans to get to Busch Stadium and watch the Cardinals lose, hopefully, sometime way in the future. Not this year. All of us are Cardinal fans right now in Illinois. It's our many people in our state are Redbird fans. Now, somebody who is a Redbird fan is with us here today. She's the Secretary of Transportation of the state of Illinois, the very first woman to have this position. She's done a great job at all of our forms of transportation, highways, bridges, water systems, our airports, but definitely our rail. And Ann Snyder, come on forward.
You know, it's appropriate that we're starting this here in Joliet today in front of this historic building. This is an historic moment for Illinois, for the Midwest, and for the nation. And we wouldn't be here without the vision of President Obama and the vision of our Governor Pat Quinn. Because of the commitment that they made to this project is happening. And as was mentioned earlier, we've also got $42 million that's being invested here in Joliet to build a new station. In addition, I know we have people here from Nippon Sharyo. We're very excited that they are the chosen vendor for the new rail cars for Illinois, and that's going to be more jobs right here in Illinois. So, as has been said, this is the future of travel in Illinois, and we're very excited to be here today to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Great job, Ann. And we do want to welcome our guest from Rochelle. Nippon Sharyo has a great manufacturing plant there. They're building rail cars for the 21st century, for high-speed rail. They're building them here in Illinois. And Senator Durbin said literally thousands of jobs are being created by our high-speed rail. And we want to thank Bob Guy from the Transportation Union with us. And I know Paul Pekarsky is also with us, our locomotive engineers. All of these men and women who work so much in rail, they understand how important it is to invest in rail for the 21st century. And someone who right here in Will County knows that this is a key part of economic growth for this region and for this county is a person who served in the Illinois Senate, now is a county executive of Will County, who has a dream and knows how to make that dream come true, and that's Larry Walsh. Come on forward, Larry.
Well, thank you very much, Governor, and welcome everybody to Will County, to our county seat, Joliet. Secretary LaHood, Senator Durbin, and Secretary Schneider, it's always great to have you here. I am so proud to be able to stand here as the Will County executive. I can't thank these people enough for their commitment and their understanding of what is happening here in Will County, what's happening here right here in Joliet, the investment that they are willing to make here in order to keep on moving forward in the transportation world. Transportation is Will County is transportation. And transportation means jobs. And there's nobody that knows that better than our Governor Pat Quinn, who has made umpteen trips here. I don't know how many umpteen is, but he's made many trips here. He's made many trips here in order to show his support for Will County and for the Joliet area. Thank you for your commitment, Governor, and we are always willing to work together with all of you in order to make our quality of life here in Will County and Joliet better. Thank you to everybody.
I want to thank Larry for his umpteen tribute. Right, not far from here, we're building the multimodal. Right here, we were here a couple weeks ago. There are workers on that right now. We're also having the great train station we'll see in Normal. I want to acknowledge Mayor Coos, who is with us here today on the trip. You know, when these train stations come together with multimodal, there's a great number of jobs that can be created. Someone who understands that right here in Joliet. He's the progressive mayor of this great city, and that's Tom Durante. Come on forward, Tom.
Thank you, Governor, and I want to thank Secretary LaHood and Senator Durbin and the Governor for all they did to make this happen. There's no question the combination of this high-speed rail and the new transportation center that we're building, thanks to our Governor, thank you, Governor, that it's going to help us develop downtown, which we're really looking forward to. And thanks again for everyone who had a part in this. Believe me, we won't forget it. Thank you very much.
I do want to bring forward forward someone here who is the head of the Rail Caucus in the Illinois General Assembly. We had to get funding from our own state to match our federal funding, to really extend the opportunity for high-speed rail, for all the jobs that rail manufacturers are going to bring to our state, all those supplier jobs. Someone who understands this from beginning to end. It's been the strongest voice for rail in our Illinois General Assembly, Representative Elaine Eckwitz. Come on forward, Elaine.
Thank you very much. I would have been crushed if I missed this, but it was precisely because of transportation in Joliet that I was late. I got stuck at a drawbridge over there. So thank goodness for those barges going through Joliet as well. We're very excited about that. This is a great day in Illinois, and we continue to have one right after the other in terms of our celebration of bringing enhanced and increased passenger rail service to Illinois. And I look around the crowd and I see a lot of great friends and supporters and advocates for this very cause. It's been quite a journey. It's brought a lot of us together. It's required cooperation at every level of government and the private sector as well. But we are making progress. We are bringing jobs to the state of Illinois. In celebration of this, I'm just delighted to be here. And I wish I could go on the train, but there's a small matter on November 6th that I have to attend to.
Thank you, Elaine. We talk about planes, trains, automobiles, boats, and also bikes, because Elaine is the #1 bicyclist in the Illinois General Assembly. She's a world class. We want to thank her for her devotion to transportation, as well as Senator Pat McGuire, who is here, who's a strong advocate of rail. Thank you, Pat. And what's better than one Larry Walsh? Two Larry Walshes. Larry Walsh Jr. is with us. He's going to be taking the trip with us. And then also, we understand how important Amtrak is to our state. We have 4 major Amtrak routes. Each of them have been growing in passenger ridership year after year. This is going to help us even more. And somebody who really believes in Amtrak is their chairman from our state, Tom Carver. Come on forward, Tom.
Well, I was told to get down to the end of this group of speakers. Maybe the only thing I should say is all aboard, so we don't. It takes a team to make all of this happen. And right now, you get the right people at the right time. You got a great supportive administration, the Obama administration. You have absolutely the right people in the U.S. Senate supporting us. At the state level, we got a governor who understands it. Great local leaders of Illinois historically have been involved in this. So the stars are lined up right. And today we're seeing the end result of that. I'm here today on behalf of President and CEO Joe Boardman, the Board of Directors of Amtrak, and our 20,000 or so employees who really make this happen. And some of them are out there today, some of them are on the train. Glad to join you today for the start of the 110-mile-an-hour service in Illinois. It's been a great year for Amtrak. Ridership and revenue numbers. We've reduced our need for federal operating funds by over $100 million. We have worked in partnership with the state of Illinois to make 110-mile-an-hour service a reality. And Amtrak is continuing to bring high-speed rail service and expanded network to Illinois. I want to give you just a few numbers here of the success that Illinois has had. 838,000 passengers from Chicago to Milwaukee, up 2%. Chicago to St. Louis, 675,000 passengers, up 11%. And that's when we were busing people this year, 11% for gosh sakes. It's amazing. Chicago to Carbondale, 375,000 passengers, up 5%. In my route, the Illinois Zephyr route, down to little old Macomb, Illinois, 265,000 passengers, up 4%. That's what's going on in Illinois. Illinois is at the forefront of passenger rail in the United States. When this project is complete, we anticipate the Chicago to St. Louis route will be one of the busiest state-supported routes in the country. Thank you all for all your work. Everyone behind me, everyone here, have a great day, and I guess it's pretty much all aboard.
Thank you. We do want to thank the Union Pacific Railroad. They've been very, very helpful to us in making this possible. We also acknowledge the great work of our United Transportation Union, the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers. We're all in this together. This is our first trip. We all want to join together and make sure that our neighbors know about the opportunity, and together we'll make Illinois a better state. Thank you.
Forms and proceed to start walking over to the right.
Pull a clip from Durbin. You can do this, and then I'll have a clip from the trip at the end. Okay, you get on your way, and I'll see you at the station. We are just leaving. Thanks. No. We are now.
Now, if it so happens that you don't able to get there at the exact moment, we would screen speed display here with this car. We'll be going 110 on the way back. Okay.
On the way back?
How about you, sir?
Well, thanks. Actually,
All right. How we doing? Almonds? Yeah, some right here for you. How about you, sir?
We locked it into a certain level of soon. That way we eliminate a lot of the traffic. You know, just keep going, oh, where exactly am I? So it eliminates some of that.
ladies and gentlemen, to the off to the right side,
Any questions?
the I-35 will diverge from us and make its way around Dwight. What is now a frontage road, just across the fence line from here, is the former US 66. So we are going to see both the history of transportation by motor vehicle by following US 66 for this segment of our route.
We're taking TV reporting. I have Pepsi, that Pepsi, Sierra.
Now beginning our test segment of 110 mile an hour territory. For those who have a rail map or following us on GPS, that was milepost 72 done.
Back out towards 53 and then
the U.S. Department of Transportation, the Federal Railroad Administration, and the Illinois DOT have begun deploying the special safety equipment needed for us to go 110 miles an hour. Are we going to be miles as like that's 100 miles an hour?
The press. I'm not sure if you can.
To 110 miles an hour. I'm in touch with the engineer in the cab of the locomotive, and he'll be talking back and forth to me to let us know as we reach those speeds. High. After we pass through here, the community of White, we pass over a slight curve, and then we'll begin our 110 miles an hour segment.
I just talked to him.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I don't think
I think we're all trying to hear.
Still reaching for 110 as we head southwest of the Union Pacific Railroad. Two Amtrak locomotives in front, our coaches, our bus service car, and the Beach Grove cars trailing our city. Now 105 miles per hour on our test segment.
All right, here we go.
Now 107 miles per hour. 108 miles per hour. We have now reached 110 miles per hour. Congratulations to all of those who have worked so hard to make this day possible. Thank you for riding our test train.
That's why we need 125 mile an hour engines.
Rebuild and the rebirth of the central business of the town of Omaha. That'll be a big event. We just had one now, reached 110 miles per hour.
Good. Sure, yeah. Good shot.
While the weather outside's a little gloomy, there are a lot of smiles here aboard the test train. All the people with Amtrak and Union Pacific and the U.S. DOT, the Federal Railroad Administration, and others who helped make this possible. A lot of smiles because we're having a chance to show our work. And remember, just the start. This is just the test segment. There'll be more 110-mile-an-hour service to come. Remember our passengers, those thousands and thousands of Amtrak passengers. Remember, ridership up 11% on this corridor just in the last 12 months. Belton's running 110-mile-an-hour speeds routinely starting next month. Of course, our Amtrak passengers in Michigan have 110-mile-an-hour service too, so we have now the development of 210-mile-an-hour high-speed spokes to and from our Chicago hub. We're beginning to reduce speed now because we're about to exit. Running back north tonight, so those who have buses running back out of
Oh, you do?
I saw it was 25 laid out of St. Louis.
What the timetable is, what it will take to get the rest of this job.
Well, yeah, it is. Senator Durbin, it really was a culmination of a lot of hard work. It's just the beginning. This is to expand all across Illinois and across the country.
Secretary LaHood was talking to earlier about these revisions.
It's kind of a best mix.
Refresh my memory on the state transportation budget that's in there.
Well, in our capital bill, we were able to get money for high-speed rail. I think we can continue to keep the investment going. Hey, Brock. Doing the high-speed.
Oh, Senator, help me, Senator. Get up. Help the old man.
Normal, new train stations along the way that creates economic development on the route. We're Senator Durbin, and we were just talking about how the train stations emanate economic growth as well.
Secretary LaHood, can you put in perspective where Illinois...
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we are just about to our host city in the Twin Cities, the town of Normal. The Uptown Normal station, which was dedicated back in July. It's a nice event. We're going to recap and expand upon today. Approaching the town of Normal. Again, remember, toward the conclusion of the event, you'll hear a loud blast of the train horn. That'll be your signal. Reboard the train. And remember, on our way back, we have plans to reach 110 miles an hour on the way back, and you can enjoy the Amtrak Connect Wi-Fi service, which is now on this train and will be on the train for regular revenue service in November. So
Nice camera. Can I borrow this today? For the cramped space, it works better than mine.
I know, right?
Really?
It's nice to have a little one.
Is it P2? Is it
Yeah.
P2?
approaching the town of
The thing I don't like about it is I like to shoot on the shoulder.
Yeah, so I
it's
can't
really
do that.
hard to
It's impossible.
hold it. So.
This is the battery.
Yeah.
Sure feels smaller than you think, you know.
I hope to get. I know, right? I hope to get back there for
Yeah.
Christmas or something.
Yeah, my wife is out there now doing job searching stuff, so yeah, my goal is to get back there. I'm an old.
That's so
Where are you from originally?
Well, I'm from West Hartford.
Oh, West Hartford. Okay.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
not Megger.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
So maybe one day, you know, NBC 30 or Channel 3.
There you go.
I don't think they're going to put the engine. I know they're not going to put the engine on
Along the way, we went even more than 110 miles an hour. We went 111 miles an hour, which was the fastest time of a passenger train outside the Northeast in American history. So we're very, very happy that we were able to take this journey. And we want to keep making history. My mother yesterday celebrated her 95th birthday. She was born in 1917. When she was born, women didn't even have the right to vote in our country. And our country has always been one of progress, making sure everybody is in and nobody is left out. And so we not only have given women the right to vote, but we've broken down the barriers of segregation and discrimination. And here we are in the 21st century. We want to go forward in a way that will revolutionize transportation in our state. And the best way to do it is to have a balanced system. We believe in roads and highways and bridges. We believe in our airports. But we have to have a balance, and we must make sure that our rail transportation is second to none in America. And we are very, very lucky in Illinois to have 4 different Amtrak routes that have been growing in passenger ridership year after year, thanks to the investment of our state and help from the federal government. And we want to make sure those trains are safe and reliable, affordable, and fast. And that's what today is all about. This was the beginning of, I think, a long journey, an important journey to high-speed rail in the state of Illinois and all over the Midwest. And we're very grateful to the help that we have received from our President Barack Obama, who had this vision when he became president. We had to do something that was transformational in the United States when it came to transportation. And he came up with the idea and spoke to the Congress about investment in high-speed rail. And our state understood how important that was to the home of Barack Obama and to our whole nation. We were able to pass in our budget money to match our federal opportunities for high-speed rail. But that wouldn't have happened without the leadership in Congress and the Senate of our senior senator, Senator Dick Durbin, who has been a strong voice for rail from day one. And we also were blessed by the fact that President Obama named a transportation secretary, someone who understood transportation from coast to coast, but he comes from our own state of Illinois, Ray LaHood. And I want to bring forward now our friend, the greatest transportation secretary our nation has ever seen, Ray LaHood. Come on forward.
Well, thank you all very much for being here, and on behalf of President Obama, I want to say congratulations to Governor Quinn, his entire team, for the extraordinary leadership that they have shown in implementing high-speed rail. I also want to thank a friend that I served with in Congress, Senator Dick Durbin, for his extraordinary leadership and vision in terms of what it takes to really get high-speed passenger rail moving in Illinois. He's never wavered. He's always been there for us. And I'm joined today also by our outstanding rail administrator, Joe Zabo. Joe has spent his entire life in the railroad business, came to DOT, and helped us implement this program. We just arrived here from Joliet, and I'm proud to say, as Governor Quinn has already said, the train went 111 miles per hour. We only wanted it to go 110, but it went 111, so we're very proud of that. This is an exciting day. Because of the hard-working men and women who built the rails to get the train to go from 79 miles per hour to 110 miles per hour, jobs were created for our friends and neighbors in Illinois. And more jobs will be created for our friends and neighbors in Illinois as a result of getting 75% of this track from Chicago to St. Louis to speeds of 110 miles per hour. And so, as we boarded the train in Joliet, I spoke about the power of another president, the 16th president, a president from Illinois, President Lincoln. President Lincoln had a vision, and he was not dissuaded, and his vision was not blurred by the critics and naysayers. Never was. And I would say the same is true of our current president, the 44th president, from Illinois, with a vision for the next generation of transportation for the next generation, passenger rail in Illinois. 4 years ago, Senator Durbin made a very tough, courageous vote to pass the stimulus bill. $8 billion was included because of the leadership of President Obama, Senator Durbin, and other leaders with a vision for passenger rail. And as a result, Illinois has received the third largest amount of money for passenger rail thanks to the vision and leadership of Governor Quinn and his team here in Illinois. Well over $2 billion. Second only to the Northeast Corridor. Third only to California. But we're third. And this is over $2 billion that could not have been invested if it hadn't been for the leadership of the President and Senator Durbin. And the idea that the stimulus didn't work is baloney. I like baloney better than malarkey. It's baloney. You all know it's baloney, because you're standing in a facility here that was built with stimulus money, thanks to Senator Durbin and the leadership of this community that came together. The stimulus worked. It put people to work. It continues to put people to work. That's how we jump-started our opportunity for high-speed passenger rail, not only in Illinois, but in America. And so we're on our way. There's no stopping us. We're not going back. We need to continue that kind of momentum here in Normal and all across Illinois. Our DOT has invested over $2.5 billion in the Midwest to increase the speed and frequency of service. Think of the thousands of students right here in this community who come from Chicago and the suburban area to school here. Think of what that does for the economy. And think of the thousands of students at WIU and SIU and Knox College and schools, University of Illinois in Springfield, that are delivered on a train that's on time, at a good speed, comfortable, and affordable. That's what we're doing. That's what we're celebrating. That's what this is about. A good use of taxpayer dollars with a vision for delivering people all over our state, all over the Midwest, and all over America. I couldn't be any prouder for all the things we do in transportation, to be right here in Normal, Illinois, to say congratulations to the people of Normal for your vision, for making sure that your leaders know the importance of this. This is about jobs, it's about spurring on the economy, but it's also about providing the next generation of transportation for the next generation. Congratulations to all of you. Every one of you gathered here should be very proud, and I know that you are. Proud of your leaders, both nationally and locally, proud of what's going on in our state under the leadership of Governor Quinn. We've made a difference, and it's been a big difference, and this will be in the history books. What we're doing will be in the history books, because it is the next generation of transportation. All the children that are gathered here will benefit from this more than probably any of us. That's what this is about. This will be our legacy. This will be your legacy. It's a great legacy. Thank you very much.
We didn't say that it's Ray LaHood's legacy. It took a real leader from Central Illinois to make this possible, and we owe a permanent debt of gratitude for this opportunity to be on Illinois high-speed rail today and in days in the future to Ray LaHood. I do want to acknowledge here today a local representative who helped get state money for us in order to match up with our federal money, and Dan Brady, Representative Brady, we're glad you're here. It took a mighty effort in Washington to get the money for Illinois high-speed rail, and we have a great U.S. Senator who spoke out for rail every day of his life. He understands rail, and I think it's important that we all hear from him right now. Come on forward, Dr.
We've covered a lot of territory, and we've covered a long distance. Not just the distance between Joliet and Normal, but the political distance that we traveled in 5 years. 5 years ago in Washington, D.C., they wrote off Amtrak. They said that's the end of it. No more federal subsidy for passenger rail. It's an old idea. People don't want it. Why waste taxpayers' dollars on it? If it's any good, some private company will take it up. That was the dominant thinking 5 years ago. Look where we are today. Take a look at what has happened in the last 4 years that has changed that national debate dramatically. What has happened is a president with the courage to step up and say, as part of saving this economy in the midst of recovery, we are going to invest in infrastructure that will serve us for decades to come. And he said, I'm from the Midwest. I know what rail means. High-speed rail is part of putting America back on its feet and moving forward with its economy. It was the president's leadership. It was the stimulus package. And thank goodness local leaders stepped up, like Mayor Chris Coos, the members of the City Council, who had ideas about taking this investment in America and turning it into the bricks and mortar of the future. We're standing in this building today because of the vision of the local leaders and because of the determination of the president to get this economy back on its feet. I was here for the groundbreaking, here for the ribbon cutting. Mayor, it just keeps getting better every time I come back. But when it came to Amtrak, President Obama was betting that if we gave people good, fast, safe, reliable service, they'd use it. And they have. Tom Harper's here from Amtrak. He'll recount the numbers, the dramatic increase in passengers getting on the trains. It isn't just politicians giving speeches, folks. It's people buying tickets to get on the Amtrak trains. And who are they? Well, there are lots of different people, but there are a lot of students. Students at ISU and Wesleyan. Students all across this state who rely on Amtrak so they don't have to buy a car and add a new expense to the college experience. Well, I can tell you this. The future of this country depends on those students, but it depends on what we do as well. The infrastructure we build for the future will determine in the 21st century whether we win or lose. Our largest competitor in the world today is China. China invests 9% of its gross domestic product in infrastructure. 9%. Europe invests 5% in its infrastructure. The United States, 2.5%. Tell me, can we win this competitive war? This war for jobs, war for the future, if we don't invest in our own infrastructure, in the highways, in the airports, in the ports, in the rail service of this nation? The president believes, and we believe too, this is an investment for the future. We hit 110 miles an hour today, and I was looking out in the cornfields as we went by at all of the critics of Amtrak, hoping that they were waving at the train as it passed them by. Because today, those critics are being lost in the dust. The future is right here, in Amtrak, in Normal, in America working together with a vision for the future. We took a dramatic step forward with 110 mile service today, and we're just getting started. Thanks, everybody.
Senator, who really made this possible. Without his indefatigable effort in Washington, we wouldn't be here today. And it does take a local state transportation agency to partner up with the U.S. Department of Transportation to make this possible. The very first woman to ever head the Illinois Department of Transportation is with us today. She knows how to get the job done, full speed ahead. Ann Schneider, come on forward.
Today's journey started in Joliet, and as I mentioned up there, it was appropriate. We were standing in front of the historic train station in Joliet to kick off what I consider a very historic moment for the state of Illinois, for the Midwest, and for the United States. We did hit 111 miles an hour, not 110, 111, on our way here today, and that is just the beginning. As was mentioned by the governor, by 2015, 75% of this corridor will be going 110 miles per hour. And that brings economic opportunity to the towns that are going to be impacted by that high-speed rail corridor. And we're expanding service all over the state. We're going to be adding service to the Quad Cities and to Rockford onto Dubuque. That's important to help create jobs, to bring economic opportunity to those areas. So I'm very excited about what's happened today. I'm excited that we were able to go 111 instead of 110. And I do want to also tip my hat to all of the partners that made this happen here in Illinois. That includes everywhere from the Federal Railroad Administration, Administrator Joe Szabo, Secretary LaHood, Senator Durbin, the Union Pacific Railroad. All of those partners were important in helping us deliver this. And so we're very happy to be here today. And I'm very proud to work for a governor who has the vision to bring this to fruition. So thank you all very much, and congratulations.
Thank all of our partners, the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers, they're part of our team, and also the United Transportation Union. Bob Guy is here, Paul Pekarsky is here, they were with us on the trip. It's very important to acknowledge who's going to be building these rail cars. They're going to be built, the new rail cars in the 21st century for high speed, they're going to be built in Illinois, Montreal, Illinois. Nippon Shiro is with us on the trip. A very, very important company that's building rail cars for this century, and they're fast, affordable rail cars, very important for our jobs. But also, we have to understand that each of these train stations is an economic magnet, and a mayor who has already seen that, has worked tirelessly to make that a reality, is with us today. Mayor Chris Cruz of Normal. Come on forward, Chris.
11 miles an hour. I wonder why that state police car was chasing us. A term you hear in the media these days is the new normal. Well, folks, this is the real deal. You're in the new normal right now. What is the new normal? It's a community that's anxious to leverage high-speed rail as an economic driver. It's a community that puts 245,000 passengers a year through those doors. The new normal is Marriott Hotel, a $72 million project located about half a block from here. Built by a man who's built 150 hotels in the United States, always on the interstate, but chose an urban location for this hotel because of Illinois State University and the promise of high-speed rail. The new normal is a coffee house, a small independent business owned by Steve and April Fritzen. It's open in uptown Normal in a very, very trying time when there was so much construction. But they had the vision for the community, and they built, and they struggled for a little bit. And now the store they have in uptown Normal is their most pride. The new normal is people work. During the last recession, the most brutal and long-lasting since the Great Depression, hundreds of skilled tradesmen and laborers were working good paying jobs year-round throughout that whole time. That's the new normal. The new normal is Uptown 1, a project right here, out the door. It's composed on the east side of 9-story apartments with ground floor retail and restaurants, and on the west side of a 120-room Hyatt Place Hotel to address the burgeoning demand for hotels in this marketplace. There has been, to date, including this project, $155 million in private development in Uptown. Much of that had to do with high-speed rail. When I talked to the developer of this new project, I said, was that important to you? Here's what he said. Ultimately, high-speed rail will close the distance between people and businesses. It will also result in greater connections between smaller cities and others. Wilmington Normal is a perfect example. Uptown 1 is designed to enhance density and livability in Uptown 1. It is the perfect complement to the advent of high-speed rail in Illinois. Normal has embarked on a path to create a truly sustainable small city that goes beyond greening. We look forward to finalizing the agreements and look forward to being part of Uptown 1. I'm very proud of what's happened here, and honestly, much of this could not be done without the help of the esteemed men and women who stand with me here today. And hopefully we can use what we've done in this community to show rail communities throughout the United States what's possible. Thank you.
Chris has been a real leader in sustainability in Illinois. He even mentioned to me we have an electric vehicle charging, several of them, charging stations here. And this is EV town as well. We have a lot of good people who are driving EVs, including Mitsubishi EVs. Mitsubishi, a company is from Normal, Illinois. And we also understand the importance of all of our mayors getting involved in this. And I want to acknowledge Tom Taranti, who's with us here today. And also from Will County, who's on our trip as the county executive and chairman there. And that's Larry Walsh. Larry, thank you for being with us. Appreciate your support. Everybody in, nobody left out. We also understand in order to do this, we have to have a private partner, a railroad that understands what the future is all about. I want to bring forward the Executive Vice President of the Union Pacific Railroad, Land Prince. Come on over there.
Make a couple of comments. It's a very exciting day for everyone that's involved in the Illinois High-Speed Rail project. And this is a perfect example, as Governor Trent mentioned, of a public-private partnership that works. I congratulate the Union Pacific team. It was a big day for us, around 110 miles an hour on this segment. I specifically want to call out one gentleman, John Jerome, who works for Union Pacific. He was a project manager on this project. Just a couple of statistics for you that can be eye-popping. He oversaw the installation of 2.5 million linear feet of rail. He saw 1.3 million tons of ballast installed on this railroad and 2/3 of a million rail ties. It's a very big project and with more work to be done. All of us at Union Pacific, we look forward to continue working with all the agencies that are represented here, including IDOT and the FRA, to bring this project to fruition. Thank you very much.
Mentioned the Federal Railroad Administration, and their administrator is here today. He's from our state, from Riverdale. Joe Zabo, thank you, Joe, for being here. Appreciate that. And Illinois understands rail. As President Lincoln, way back in the Civil War, understood the importance of building transcontinental railroads. We have a president today who feels the same way, and he understands how important it is to have Amtrak. And we have with us today the chairman of Amtrak, understands that all our lines in Illinois are doing real well, going to keep on growing. I want to make sure that Tom Carver has a chance to speak.
Thank you, Governor. It's really exciting to be here. We talked a little bit in Joliet, at the tremendous old train station there, about how lucky we are sometimes to have stars line up just right. We've all had that happen in your life. In the last 5 or 6 years, with this tremendously supportive Obama administration, the absolute right representation of Senator Durbin and others in Washington, D.C., great leadership from Governor Quinn and the Illinois DOT, tremendous vision of local government. At the end result of that, and a lot of hard work from a lot of you folks out here that I see out here in the crowd, this is where we end up. We were talking on the train coming down, thinking back 15 years ago when I'm from Macomb, Illinois. I was mayor of Macomb for a while. We thought we were going to lose our service. And in a very short period of time, we not only didn't lose our service, we added to the service, and what you see today is the result of that. So, on behalf of Joe Boardman, President CEO of Amtrak, our nearly 20,000 employees, the men and women of Amtrak who really run our railroad 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, many of you are out today who are involved in this from its inception. Thank you for the invitation. Very pleased to be here today to join you for the start of the 110-mile-an-hour service in Illinois, the fastest train service outside of the Northeast corridor here in Illinois. 675,000 passengers. Now think about it. You were riding in buses, and still up 11% this year. So people who tell you that passenger rail is not part of an integrated transportation system are absolutely wrong. Even with the service being disrupted this year, the improvements that were made to safety and operated high speed, ridership, as I said, we're up 11% this year. Now with refurbished Amtrak trains and equipment, Wi-Fi, traveling at 110 miles an hour, additional Chicago-style food in the cafe cars, we look forward to carrying even more passengers on the Lincoln service. We are moving to the day when downstate Illinois cities feel closer to the city of Chicago in the Midwest, bringing all cities together. When you have more options to travel for work and play, get back to where you started the day in comfort and safety at a reasonable cost and a minimal carbon footprint, you will take advantage of it. That's what's happening in the Midwest. People are starting to move by rail, giving down. At Amtrak, we are proud to be America's railroad. We're very proud of our partnership with the state of Illinois, with other states around the Midwest, the states around the country. We're proud to help make this happen. We're looking forward to the start of the 110-mile-an-hour Lincoln service, expanding high-speed rail in other parts of the Midwest. We believe and we know once this service is up running, this will be one of the busiest Amtrak lines. Again, on behalf of Joe Boardman and the Amtrak family, thank you for the invitation and congratulations, state of Illinois, Normal, Illinois, and all of you who attended today. We really appreciate being a part of this.
I want to thank everybody who's here, particularly our Secretary of Transportation, Ray LeWitt, and our U.S. Senator, Dick Durbin. We really are, I think, begun the longest journey. This is one of the very first steps. We have a long way to go, but I think we're headed in the right direction. Tom did mention Joe Schachter, who is part of our Illinois Department of Transportation team, working on high-speed rail. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Joe, and happy birthday to all of us. High-speed rail.